This is Watchtower Hypnosis Part 8, and it is Part 3 of the basement video. And I didn't think I had to do another basement video, but one of my subscribers had made two individual comments on two things that I missed. And then when I looked into those two things that I missed, I then found two more things of my own, or should I say three more things on my own. And this is the way these Watchtower videos have been going, is that I would really set intention to just do one or two videos on something. And then all my subscribers will point out all these things that I missed. And these videos go on longer than I expected. So once again, this is the case with the basement video. There's much more hidden subliminal messages that we all missed during my last two videos. So what you see on your screen now is what we're going to discuss this week. The knocks on the basement door. This woman who went unnoticed last time, more racism on the black guy, and then this last picture you see when the police come down to kick the door in, there's some subliminal programming then that was missed. So let's first start off with the knocks on the basement door. Or should we say the secret satanic knock on the basement door? So one of my subscribers had made a comment, and this is what he said. Or she, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is a he or she, but it's from blah blah 260. And they say, and this is what they posed, I could be reaching, but why did it have to be six knocks at the basement door? Is that part of the weird crap they do? LOL. So then somebody else commented and said, six taps, 666. Right? So now notice that this subscriber actually is giving Watchtower the benefit of the doubt, right? They're recognizing, well, are they reaching, or, are they exaggerating? Are they looking too much into it? So they're giving Watchtower the benefit of the doubt, but they're asking, is this part of all the weird crap that they do? Right? Why does it have to be six knocks, right? It could be three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, and it can even be more than 10, right? Why six? So then my comment that I left was, with these people, you have to question everything. Watchtower lost the benefit of the doubt, right? So the six knocks, does that mean something? Was this subscriber being paranoid, or were they onto something? So let's take a look at these six knocks, right? Because that's the secret number of knocks that you need to get into the basement. And let's take a look at how many times they do these six knocks, because that's the real key. So in the first part of the basement video, you want to go to avoid what erodes loyalty. And this is the first half of the basement video. So let's take a look at the first knock.
When I think how far we are now into the
So the first knock, you know what? Let me move my camera. Okay, so the first knocking sequence is at 8 minutes and 40 seconds in the first half of the video, titled Avoid What Erodes Loyalty. So the secret knock to get into the basement is three knocks on the outside, Then the people in the basement, they knock twice, and then the person on the other side of the door knocks once, equaling six. Now, right away, that's a strange way to break up the number six because it could be two, two, and two, or it could be three and three, or it could be three, three, and three and three. Like it doesn't have to specifically be six, but they're using the number six and they break it up in an odd way. How many times does people break up the number six with three, two, and one? Now, granted, it's supposed to be a secret, right? So, but that's the number that they chose. So six is the number of times that you need that the sequence is to get into the basement door. And that's how it's broken up. So now let's take a look at the second knocking sequence. And before I play this, I just want to say that you'll notice that when the black guy comes, it seems like he's kind of like in a panic, kind of just like let me in. So it sounds like he gets the number of knocks wrong because he just like, hurry up, let me in. But then you'll notice that they still finish this sequence of the special six knock. And then he has to comply to it before they let him in the door. So even though that it looks like he messes up or it sounds like he messes up, the correct number is still six.
Open up.
So the second knocking sequence, again, and I forgot to put the time on that one. So you'll just have to find the timing yourself if you check this out. The first knocking was at 8:40, and I just forgot to write the timing on this one. But it's still the same sequence. Even though it sounds like he screwed it up because he came in a panic, it still had to finish out in this weird number of knocks, right? That being the 3, 2, 1. So what we have now is two of these knocks of sixes. Well, that's the code to get into the door, whether he screwed it up or not. So was my subscriber onto something? Or was he just being paranoid? Right? Because what we see so far is we have two of these sequences in the first half of the basement video. So Watchtower wouldn't happen to stop at just three sequences, right? Because if they were to stop at three sequences, that would total 666, right? And that wouldn't be a coincidence, right? That would prove that they're just doing this satanic stuff that they always do. And so notice the comment, could I be reaching? But why did it have to be six knocks at the basement door? Is that part of the weird crap they do? And then this other person comments and says six taps, 666. So were they right? Like Watchtower wouldn't stop at just six, right? Because that would prove that they put in the satanic stuff and their material, right? Like you couldn't deny that. What would be the odds that they would just stop at three? So do they stop at three? Or is it four knocks, right? That would be more realistic. So to find any other knocks, you want to then go to pursue what builds loyalty, which is the second half of the basement video. So let's take a look at another knock.
Elaine, you are to be commended for what you did and for seeing the need.
So the third knock-in sequence is in the second half of the basement video at 6 minutes and 11 seconds. And as you see, They got it right from the start. They didn't have to redo anything. It's three, two, and one. The weird way they broke the number six up. So what you would expect if this is not a satanic organization, right? Then what you would expect is there was two sequences in the first half of the basement video, and you might expect two more sequences in the second half of the basement video, right? But they wouldn't stop at three, would they? Because that would be an odd coincidence, right? And that would mean that my subscriber basically was definitely onto something. So does Watchtower stop at three knocks coincidentally? I mean, what would be the odds of that not being on purpose? So do they do it a fourth time? That's it. They stopped at three. 666 is the magic number to get into the basement door. Now, here's the thing. People are always going to defend the Watchtower, and that is a clear sign that the people in this religion defending it are clearly brainwashed, because the way that brainwashing works is that they will not accept the truth no matter how much you show them stuff like this. But what are the odds that, number one, what my subscriber caught on to, what his intuition caught on to? I'm sorry, I don't want to keep saying his. I don't know if that's um a male or female subscriber, but just something about that it had to be six caught their attention. And that is a weird way to break up the number six, right? And they don't have to restrict themselves to six. It could have been three, three, and three, or three, four, and two. Like it could have been any number of could have been any sequence of knocks. But why six? Right? Why six? Why was that subscriber's intuition telling them six? So that in itself could be a coincidence that, okay, it's six, it's, why six with all the stuff this organization does. But when you see them, they specifically stop at an odd number instead of having two sequences in the first half and two sequences in the second half, or three sequences in the second half, or four, totaling seven or something like that. They miraculously stop at 3, 6, 6, 6 to get into the basement door. That's not a coincidence. And when they do stuff like this, they're making it clear that they're devil worshippers. And again, I'm not saying that Jehovah's Witnesses who you see going to your door are devil worshippers. They don't know that. But the people who run Watchtower, they're devil worshippers. They're satanic. So, and the way that they do these things is that this has been going on through the whole history of this organization. So if you miss the monster hand they put in the Revelation book, I mean, they're telling you with the monster hand, one of Jesus' co-rulers with the monster hand, that they're really worshiping demons. They're telling you that. And then if you didn't catch the monster hand, well, you notice that their crowns are made to look like horns, right? But if you still are not still rejecting that, well, then they put the Egyptian god also in the Paradise book on the bookshelf. Now, I'm not saying that Egyptian gods are demonic, but from Jehovah's Witness teaching, what they teach their followers is that any false god is demonic. So for them to put an Egyptian god Amun Ra in the background, that's another way they're telling you that they worship Satan. And then you might have seen my video that I did where they put the devil horn sign, the hand on the bookshelf. And that's a bit of gaslighting because basically they know that it also means I love you in sign language. So they're just using a bit of gaslighting that way. But there's no reason that the hand was there in the first place. Right. But if for those that are that brainwashed that you're like, oh no, it means I love you. Well, if you missed that, then when this actor during the movie True Love, the JW movie, throws up the devil horn sign when there's no sign language going on, I mean, you're practically putting it in your face, right? If you fell for the thing on a bookshelf, well, he's just straight up throwing up the devil's horn sign. Then if you still don't see that these people worship the devil, And the Caleb and Sophia video, I forget the name of the video that this is from, but one of the angels is worshiping the sun. I mean, look, that's the pose for sun worship. And then the depiction of heaven in this Caleb and Sophia video is orange clouds and smoke. But that's subliminal to they're worshiping demons in hell, right? Heaven is not depicted with orange clouds and smoke. And then if you still don't get it, right? So then they construct this assembly hall from scratch. Some XJWs try to make remarks for some reason, oddly trying to deny their connection with this stuff. Oh, maybe the building was already like that. No. Well, if you do your research before you make a comment saying, oh, maybe it's already like that, you can do the research and see that they built this from scratch. And a governing body member signed off on the design, and there's public records of this. So when they build their assembly hall, like a crop circle that you have to be above to see that it's this Illuminati. Like, if you miss all this and you're still not seeing the fact that these people worship the devil, well, now they're telling you with numbers, right? So, as far as I understand, that I'm the first one to bring this information to the internet that this satanic Knox 666. So here's new information. Here's a new way that they're telling you that they worship Satan, right? How many more ways do you need this organization to tell you that they're really devil worshippers at the top? Right. And if you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, please let me know, because I am trying to really help you guys. And some of you who've been following me know that I don't want to keep doing these videos forever. So I really am trying to wake JWs up. So if the 666 knock is still not enough to tell you that these people are worshiping Satan, please let me know, what other method do you need me to expose to make it clear that they're devil worshippers, right? I mean, how many more ways do you need? We got the 666 knock on the door. So when my subscriber had said, hey, am I reaching? They were onto something. And as I said in the comment that I replied to, Watchtower lost the benefit of the doubt. This is why you do have to question everything this organization does. So the next part of this video is this woman. Right now, she has gone unnoticed in the last two basement videos I did. But the question is why? So the question that I pose is she a mute or is she a sexual predator? So I made a collaboration of all the scenes that this woman is in. So this is every scene that she's in, and just pay very close attention to her and what she says through the whole basement video.
How was it out there?
It's not good. It won't be long, maybe an hour.
I just don't get it. Kevin knows we're in the Great Tribulation. Why would he say he doesn't want any?
Proverbs says, trembling at men is a snare. If Kevin couldn't preach with boldness during favorable times, imagine how much harder it was for him to loyally rely on Jehovah during this difficult time.
Yeah, now, during the Great Tribulation.
Open up.
What is going on out there?
They're just north of town, searching every house.
Every house?
Yeah, the neighborhood's in a panic.
Let's stay calm and lean on Jehovah. At some point, we can expect the final attack on God's people. But Jehovah's going to give us the courage we need. Thank you. Josh?
That's so true, that he's always done good things for us. But from what I've seen, what really makes a difference is how we respond to that goodness. For some in the congregation, those good things became a test of their loyalty. The stronger our attachment to him became. So I've learned to have appreciation for everything Jehovah's done for us and for his organization. It's helped us all make it to this point, and I'm sure it will help us stay loyal through the rest of the Great Tribulation.
Please say another prayer for us. Then I think we should look at some more scriptures that'll help us.
Are they?
Psalm 27 should break out against me. Even then, I will remain confident. One thing. Where would I be if I did not have faith? I think all of us can identify with that question.
Absolutely. Without faith, none of us would be here.
All of us here, and all of our brothers everywhere, at this hour, we can all feel good that we've worked hard to build faith, to serve God half-heartedly with a date in mind or for some selfish reason. Instead of just going through the motions of being a disciple, our faith.
Check the basement.
She didn't say a word through the whole entire 2 parts of the basement video. Not a word. Now, when it comes to subliminal programming, you see, there's different ways that they do it. That by her not saying a word, your subconscious is picking up that there's something off with this woman without you realizing it. Because when I did these 2 basement videos, I didn't even realize that she didn't say a word through the whole video. Like somehow I missed that myself, but my subconscious didn't miss that. So that is some sort of programming to get your mind to focus on that there's something wrong with this woman, right? Watchtower is not going to forget to give her a script, right? Just like they didn't forget the black guy in the paradise, they killed him off, right? So they're not going to forget to give her a script. That was done very deliberately. Now, I asked the question, is she a meat or sexual predator? Because what people will say trying to defend the Watchtower is, well, maybe she's deaf, right? She can't speak. So this is where you expect to see a devil horn sign on a bookshelf if they're really trying to bring sign language into something. But as you can see in this video, there was nothing indicating that anybody was deaf or anybody was a mute. There was nothing indicating that. So then why did she not speak? So when I zoned in on the fact that she wasn't speaking, and actually it was kind of backwards, because before I realized that she didn't speak, because you never know how your subconscious is taking this information in, what I noticed is that every time that they showed this woman, she had her hand on the little girl, almost to the point where it's like she couldn't take her hands off the little girl. And notice her race, right? So this is not the children's mother. The kids are clearly white and her husband's white, right? So clearly this is a stepmother. So when I first noticed, like, why does it seem like every time they show her, the only thing she's doing is touching the children? That's all that she's doing. That's when I noticed that she doesn't speak, right? So I think my subconscious picked up on the fact that she doesn't say a word, and that's when I zoned in on the fact was, well, what is she bringing to this basement video? So notice these scenes again, and notice how every time they show her, she's always touching this little girl or reaching to touch her.
How was it out there?
It's not good. It won't be long, maybe an hour.
Open up.
The neighborhood's in a panic.
Let's stay calm and lean on Jehovah. At some point,
To him became.
some more scriptures that'll help us. We can all feel good that we've worked hard to build faith. Instead of just going through the motions of being a disciple, our faith.
Check the basement.
So before anybody says that I'm reaching, because JWs like to use that word reaching, again, notice that specifically she doesn't say a word. She's not the children's mother. And it appears to be okay. She's just comforting the children, right? She's keeping them close. But why is that the only thing that she does throughout this whole movie is simply just not take her hands off the girl? You see, that's where it becomes subliminal. So just notice again these pictures of the clips we just watched. So why are they showing her that? Or why are they showing us that? Why would the Watchtower producers decide we're going to put this woman in the basement video? She's not going to say a single word throughout the whole thing, but we're going to make sure that every time we show her, she always has to have her hand on the girl. Why not the boy? Right? You see, if she's just a protective stepmother, like, why not both of them? Right? Like, why specifically her? And as you can see, as I mentioned, clearly they're making her a different race. So they're also sending that message that this is not their mother, the stepmother. But these are the ones that disturb me the most, along with the whole collaboration of all of them together. It's too many of them for that just to be a coincidence. They're sending a message with this. So notice in these two ones I'm going to play, it looks like in these ones that she's actually playing with the little girl's hair, not that she's holding the girl for safety, more so playing with her.
Worked hard to build faith. Emotions of being a disciple are faith.
And those were two different scenes. It wasn't the same clip. Two different times they showed like her hand was more so caressing the little girl, not just, oh, I'm holding her close because I'm worried about her safety. In fact, let me just play that again.
Worked hard to build faith. Emotions of being a disciple are faith.
You see, that wasn't, I'm holding you close for safety. That's something else. And I'm not saying that it's wrong if a mother is playing with her daughter's hair, but what you're seeing is there's a reason that every time they show her, she's always touching the girl, not the boy for some reason. Right. And the husband, he's not touching the boy every time you see him. So what's going on with what are they showing us is what I'm asking. Now, in this photo, what's interesting is that, and let me know if I'm wrong, but I mentioned in the last two basement videos how um the young brother who had the sister, how he kept sitting in these weird positions. And I was just wondering, well, why? So those of you who are my subscribers for women, please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about this. Let me know if this is a normal position that a woman sits in, but why is she sitting that looks like she's holding her knee up? And keep in mind, this is everything in Watchtower is really, it's thought out. Everything is well thought out. So why would, when they're taking this for this video, why would the producer say, hey, hold your knee up like that with your hand? So what I'm wondering for my women subscribers is that, is this a normal position that I'm not aware of? Please let me know. But I'm just going by what I'm seeing. So what I'm seeing is she's sitting in a weird position and she's holding up her knee. And it looks like she's holding up her knee to hide her other hand. So the question is, what is her other hand doing? Now, if you look at her husband, he's sitting normal. His hand is on his lap and his other hand is on the couch, right? You see both of his hands. You look at the young boy, it looks like both of his hands are on his lap. The little girl, her hands look like they're on her knees. So why is she sitting in a weird position, holding up her knee as if she's blocking what her other hand is doing? I'm asking that question. Now, when you look at the pattern so far of this woman, that every time they show her, she's touching the girl somewhere. So just based on the pattern, we can conclude, or at least I can conclude based on the pattern, that is a 90% chance that her hand is somewhere on the girl because every time they show her, that's what she's doing. So why is she sitting like that with her knee up like that? I don't know. Now, for those who think that, oh, before I go on, this is another important point. So I raised the question in the beginning, is she mute or sexual predator? Like what's going on? So there's nothing in this video to indicate that there's any sign language or that anybody's deaf. There's nothing to indicate that. So I'm saying that the reason she doesn't speak is because that's subliminal. That's how they're programming what she's doing in her head. Our subconscious is picking up the fact that she doesn't speak, and then we're connecting those dots in our subconscious without realizing it. That's what I think. But for those who are going to try to say, oh no, she must be deaf, she just doesn't speak, and that's what Watchtower's portraying. Well, why would Watchtower portray that when it has nothing to do with the storyline? And there's no indication that she's deaf. But Watchtower leaves a little bit of a
Faith?
clue. They leave a clue that basically shows that she's not deaf. And I've been doing this for a while now, just breaking down these subliminal codes and messages in Watchtower, and I can start to see I'm learning a lot as I'm doing it. And Watchtower always gives you clues for some reason. I'm not going to get into what that reason is because I've explained it many times before, but they give you these little clues. So what's interesting is that when Brother Brown towards the end, he's going through, he's doing like a recap of the different stories and the lessons that they've learned, that they've had loyalty to Jehovah. And as he's recapping it, they show other people's stories in black and white. And they show the scene again where that woman is at the table with all the fruit, but they show a different scene. They don't show the real scene that they showed during the apostate section that I covered in the last video. They show a black and white scene of something that they didn't show us before. And what they show us is that she's not a mute, she's talking. So notice how when they show this, you can clearly see that she's talking to the little girl. So she's not a mute. Notice this.
Faith just warms my heart. You studied God's word to better understand his ways and his promises. That has made your faith strong.
Did you see that?
Faith just warms my heart. You studied God's word to better understand his ways and his promises. That has made your faith.
So clearly, she's not a mute. She's not deaf. She can speak. And that scene is really interesting because if you go back to the original basement video, or it's the second half of the basement video, and you go back to that scene where they're at the table talking, they don't show her speak. That's not in the storyline. It's only when Brother Brown is doing this recap that they're showing a special scene that they didn't actually show before. And the only thing that that scene reveals is that she can talk. So that's a clue that she can talk. So nobody can say she's mute. So now that really raises an alarm bells on why is it that she doesn't say a word through the whole entire program. Well, again, my assessment is that it's subliminal to pick up on the fact, well, what is she doing? What she's doing is she keeps touching the girl. That's what she's doing. And those other two scenes that I showed you, she's more caressing the girl's hair or shoulder or whatever. So why did they do this? Why would a Watchtower producer decide to write this in the script? It makes no sense. Now, in my video Watchtower Hypnosis Part 5, they were putting CSA stuff in the Caleb and Sophia videos. And what I brought out in that video is that they hit it with the gender. You see, most time when people think of like sexual child abuse, what they're thinking of is it's a man, usually. That's what they're thinking of. So when it's a grown woman, and in the case of that Caleb and Sophia video, that was Watchtower Hypnosis Part 5, Sophia was asking Jehovah for friends her own age, and Jehovah, for whatever reason, couldn't do that. He decided to give Sophia a grown woman to come play with turtles with. And I brought out in that particular video that if it was a man that wanted to be friends with Caleb and wanted to come play with turtles with Caleb, alarm bells would go off right away because of the gender. So Watchtower hid that in that Caleb and Sophia video with the gender. So this goes unnoticed for the same reason, because once again, it's the gender. Because it's a woman touching a little girl, like people don't see it as easy as there being anything wrong with it. It goes unnoticed. But just like I explained in that Caleb and Sophia video, all we have to do is change the gender. Right? So everything that I just showed you, with her always touching the girl and not saying a word, what if it was him? Right? What if it was this guy? What if they put this guy in the basement video and didn't give him a single word to say? He didn't say a single word, but every time they showed him, he has his hands on the girl. Right? Imagine if just change the gender. Picture it being this guy, And clearly you would see there's something wrong with that, right? What message would they be sending with that? But you see, all they got to do is change the gender and it goes unnoticed. So that's what I propose. I mean, let me know why she was sitting on a couch like that with her knee up, like hiding where her other hand was, and let me know what you think on why they purposely didn't give her a single word to say, but they revealed to us in a clue that she can speak. So why is it every time that they show her she can't take her hand off the girl, right? And why is she not holding the boy too if it's like some sort of concern like that? What's going on? And clearly this is not the child's mother because the children are clearly white and she clearly is not a white woman. So moving on, how they treated the black guy. Now, for those of you who watch my last video, you know that the black guy was the only guy that they didn't give a story to. Everybody else was part of a story but him, right? He wasn't good enough to have a story. And if you think that, oh, they forgot to give him a story, which Watchtower doesn't forget anything, well, in the paradise scene, it clearly showed that he was gone. He was missing, right? So clearly it was a racist subliminal messaging in that video. But then I noticed something else that also stands towards more racism. So I'm going to play, going back to the 3 satanic knocks. That's what you need to get into the basement. That notice the treatment of the white families when they show up in the basement. They play nice piano music and they're happy to see them and they talk to them with respect. Right. So just keep that in mind. Notice that when they come in, you hear the piano music a little bit and just notice the tone of their voices and their facial expressions when the 2 white families come to the house.
The
How was it out there?
It's not good. It won't be long, maybe an hour.
So did you hear the piano music when they walked in, right? And you heard the way they talked to them, right? How is it out there, right? Normal, right? And a nice piano music, right? They're happy to see them. Now let's take a look at the next one.
Elaine, you are to be commended for what you did and for seeing the need.
Shelly. Shelly. I'm so glad you guys made it safely.
They had a whole orchestra when they walked in, but then when they went back to the scene, it was the nice piano music, right? A warm hug. Brother Brown is happy to see them, right? So now notice when the black guy comes in, notice there's no piano music, no happy music. Nobody's happy to see him. And notice the tone in their voice when they speak to him.
Open up.
What is going on out there?
They're just north of town.
What is going on out there? Right? Like he's a Negro slave, right? That's how they used to talk to black people who were slaves, right? Like, shine my shoes, boy, right? What is going on out there? Notice the tone in his voice. And why there's no piano music? Isn't he one of Jehovah's sheep? Aren't they glad that he made it there alive? Nobody's happy to see him, right? What is going on out there? Now I'm going to play again, so just notice the tone of the voices of everybody else when they walk in versus the tone of the voice when I spoke to him. So just pay attention now to the tone of the voices, how the others were welcomed.
How was it out there?
I'm so glad you guys made it safely.
It's getting bad out there now.
Chris, were you able to check on all of the other groups?
What is going on out there?
How was it out there?
Chris, were you able to check on all of the other groups?
What is going on out there?
How was it out there?
Chris, were you able to check on all of the other groups?
What is going on out there?
So can anybody explain another coincidence with the black guy, right? It just happens to be him. No piano music when he walks in. Nobody's happy to see him. Nobody cares that he made it. And why the tone of the voice? He practically got asked the same question that the first guy got asked. When the first family walked in, the young brother who sits in the weird positions, he says, something to the same effect, how is it out there or something like that, right? With a normal voice. Why are they talking to him like he's a Negro slave, right? What is going on out there, boy? Right? No welcome. And did you see their faces? So notice the reaction of Brother Brown when one of the other white couples walks in. Notice his facial expression. And then notice the stank look that he has on his face when the black guy walks in.
Shelly. I'm so glad you guys made it safely.
Right? You see how happy he is that they made it safely? Right? They're all Jehovah's sheep, right? Shouldn't they be happy? Everybody that shows up safely? Right? But notice how relieved and happy Brother Brown looks when they arrive there safely. So now notice how he looks when the black guy arrives safely. Did you see that stank look on his face? Let me play that again.
Shelly. I'm so glad you guys made it safely.
How was it out there?
Chris, were you able to check on all of the other groups?
What is going on out there?
How was it out there?
Chris, were you able to check on all of the other groups?
What is going on out there?
So why this stank look on Brother Brown's face when the black guy shows up? Right? Look at the difference. This is what you expect from a loving so-called shepherd, an elder who Jehovah's sheep arrives safely with Armageddon outside, basically, right? And then this is the look of oh, him? Oh, I can't believe he made it. That's almost look of I wish he didn't make it. I thought it was somebody important. It's just you. I was hoping for this brother or that brother, right? You. And look at the look on the picture furthest to the right. That's the look of I don't trust you. I don't like you. Right? And let's be honest, we've all had people look at us with that look. That's a look of disdain. Right? That's disdain. So why did he one day don't play the soft piano music when he shows up? Then they talk to him like he's a Negro slave, right? What is going on out there? And then Brother Brown's got this stank look on his face. So why? Is that a no? It's not a coincidence. How many things do they have to show with this guy to show you that it's racism? It's subliminal racism. Now, are they mad that he messed the satanic knockup? Because again, when he came to the door, it was sort of like he wasn't trying to play games. He's like, let me in, right? Like it's dangerous outside, right? He don't want to play the satanic knock. But they didn't answer the door until he played along with the whole satanic knock. So is that it? Is that why they're mad at him? Because he messed the knock up? Or is that why he got killed in paradise? Or didn't make it to paradise, should I say? Like, or did they kill him? Right? I mean, look at Brother Brown's face. It's like I showed in the last video how when the police kicked down the door, he was right there in the front line with everybody else. So what happened to him? Right? But clearly this is all it's racism. It's subliminal racism is what it is. And I don't think anybody can explain, like, even when the first couple walked in, the first couple was asked the same question. And again, this is a scene from the last video, and yep, the one guy they didn't welcome in, the one guy, what is going on out there? And that stank look on his face, he's the one guy not there. But you know what? This is my assessment on the black guy. He's my favorite character because you know why? He's the most normal. Everybody else are weirdos. Everybody's a weirdo in this story. And everybody's corrupt in some sort of way. And you know what? He's the only one that messed up the satanic knock, right? He's the most normal person in this whole story. Right? But then they killed him off. Or Jehovah killed him. So there's no coincidences with this. And if you didn't see my last video, then go back and watch the last video, Watchtower Hypnosis 7, because it breaks down the racism with this character, right? And this just adds to it. You can clearly see they talk down to him like he's a Negro slave, no respect, no piano music when he walks in, nobody's happy to see him. And that look that Brother Brown has on his face is the stank look of, I don't like you. Like, why are you here? I wish it was somebody. How did you get here? Like, who gave you the satanic code to get into the basement, right? You weren't supposed to get that code. But there's no way to justify it. It's more racism. So the last part, or should I say what I thought was going to be the last part of this video, is the superhero programming. Now, when I say superhero programming, let's go back to that same subscriber that caught on to the satanic knock. So the same person, right? Blah blah 260 says, it's funny how they stand there like a scene from a superhero movie, and all of them are about to reveal their individual powers as the guys in black attack, especially the elder so corny. So then I replied with, yes, the music they play sounds like the climax of a superhero scene. So my subscriber, again, if you look at the way that they wrote this, they're still giving Watchtower the benefit of the doubt, right? Giving them the benefit of the doubt, like basically they're saying it kind of like a joke. Like, it's so funny how they stand there like the scene from a superhero movie, right? As they're about to reveal their individual powers. And they're saying it like a joke. And that's how I took it at first. But then the more that I thought about it, I realized that this subscriber was on to another point, because it's not a coincidence. It's superhero training. They literally wanted Jehovah's Witnesses to watch this basement video and be subliminally programmed to think they're superheroes. And that's not a stretch to say that, because why would a Jehovah's Witness go to a hospital bleeding to death and be willing to die without a blood transfusion, right? You see, they want them to think they're superheroes, right? Superman would take a blood transfusion probably if the doctors told him you're going to die without it, right? Unless he couldn't because of, his origins or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, that is a superhero response to walk into a hospital like, no, I'm not taking blood. Nope, I'm invincible. I'm not going to die. Jehovah's going to save me. And if I do die, he's going to resurrect me. That that mindset that witnesses would die, they will gladly die for this organization, that coincides with superhero training. They're making them think that they're superheroes. And maybe they're planning them again for like Jim Jones training. Like if they really are instructed to go into a basement and not be obedient to the authorities, like they may want them to go into their mindset like they are superheroes. So I don't think that this is just a coincidence. It's superhero training. So I want to break down two aspects of this, the what I think is evidence that this is superhero training that they're programming them with. So first I want you to just listen to the music that they play. So they play superhero music. And when I say superhero music, I mean the type. So listen to the music that they're playing in the background. I'm going to play two scenes and notice how it's superhero music.
How sad. Now, this far into the Great Tribulation. How sad. Now, this far into the Great Tribulation.
That is superhero music, especially the last one that I played. That is the type of music they play in superhero music at the climax of a scene, right? Right when they're about to reveal their powers or get into a battle, just like my subscriber had mentioned. Superhero music. Now, for those that aren't familiar with superhero music, I'm going to play a scene from a TV show called Smallville, which was based on Superman. So Superman, in the scene I'm going to show, he's fighting himself. There's a Superman evil like twin called Bizarro, and Bizarro had beat him, but then Superman gets his powers back. But notice as the evil Superman is walking away, and they're going to show Superman getting his powers back. Notice the music that they play. Now the music is not identical, but you'll see it's the same style. The superhero music when a superhero is about to reveal their powers or get into a big battle. And just notice it's the same type of music.
Hey! Is that all you got?
You're no match for my strength.
How sad. Now, this far into the Great Tribulation,
So as my subscriber had mentioned, it's funny how they stand there like a scene from a superhero movie, and all of them are about to reveal their individual powers as the guys in black attack, especially the elder so corny. This is by design. They put this programming in there. And this is just the music, right? So I only broke down the music so far. So they played superhero music. That's not JW music that they're playing. It's superhero music. So now pay close attention to the look, specifically on the elder's face, versus some pictures of superheroes. And just notice the similarities. Not that they look like superheroes, but notice it's the same stance, the same position. Notice the similarities. It's the same thing. They are making the witnesses think when watching this video that they are superheroes. And this is not a stretch because this is why a Jehovah's Witness will walk into a hospital and say, no, I don't need blood, right? I have Jehovah. And even if I die, Jehovah will bring me back to life, right? They think they're superheroes. This is superhero training. And it's interesting that they're putting them in a position where if they're told go into a basement and wait for Armageddon, if law enforcement kicks down the door, they're putting them in this position to make them think they're invincible, like Superman, like Batman, the Fantastic Four, Justice League, X-Men. It's programming. And that is the position they're told to stand in when they were making this video. And I want to say too that when these things happen, that I don't quite necessarily believe that, and it could be true, but I don't think that all the actors, when it comes to this stuff, are in on it, because witnesses are just so brainwashed that they will just do what they're told. So the directors could tell them to do things. They could even tell them to put up a devil horn sign, and the witnesses aren't going to ask, like, why am I doing it? This is how obedient and brainwashed these people are. So I'm not saying that these people in the basement even are aware of the weird poses and things that they're doing. Some of them have to be, like the guy sticking his tongue out in the last video. He's in on it. And one I'm going to show you later on is definitely in on it. But the thing is that the directors of these JW movies, they could just tell these people to look this way, do that, and they are so brainwashed they'll just do it without question. So I can't say that they're all in on it, but clearly you can see he fits right in he fits right in with Wolverine and Superman. I mean, he could be Clark Kent basically, and the witnesses are so brainwashed, and this may sound like an exaggeration, but if the governing body basically told the witnesses that they are the Justice League. The Justice League is real, and that David Splane is Clark Kent. They would believe it. And this may sound like a joke. This is not a joke. This is how brainwashed these people are. They will believe anything that they say. So the governing body could literally tell them and say, we're the Justice League. And they'd believe it. And I just think that when the people that are brainwashing the witnesses, whatever team of like psychologists and scientists, whoever these people are that, and I don't think the governing body is that slick to brainwash 8 billion people. I think they're working for somebody personally, but they got to be laughing at how stupid their followers are. They have to be laughing. Right? I mean, picture a governing body or whoever controls them when deciding to do this, thinking about, well, look how dumb these people are. We're gonna make them think they're Clark Kent, Superman, and Wolverine, the Justice League, right? We're even gonna play the super. They have to be laughing at how stupid witnesses are. I mean, look at this. It's obvious. It's superhero training. So once again, and I thank this subscriber for making these comments because they were on point with both of these comments they made. Right? I didn't see this superhero training, but once they brought it out, it is what it is. But it gets worse than that. So I mentioned in the last video, and I was just being sarcastic, just like my subscriber was being sarcastic with the superhero comment. So I was just being sarcastic, and right at the end of this video, they have a guy that sounds like Darth Vader that's coming to get them. And when I say Darth Vader, I don't mean that. And for those who don't know Darth Vader, he's the main bad guy in the movie Star Wars, the original Star Wars movie. I don't even know what they did with the latest Star Wars because I don't like any of the newer ones. But in the original Star Wars movies, the main bad guy was Darth Vader. And Darth Vader, basically, he talks with like a muffled voice because he has his big helmet on. So his voice is like muffled when he talks. So when this guy in the basement video that's coming after them, I would say whoever's the captain or the lieutenant of this group that's coming to get them, he talks with this muffled voice. And to me, I made a sarcastic remark on like, oh, who's after him? Darth Vader. But after I broke down the superhero training, I started to see that I think the Darth Vader thing is real too. It's not just a coincidence that they got this guy with a muffled voice after them. I think that's even subliminally putting in their minds Darth Vader from Star Wars. But let me show you what I mean. So again, this guy doesn't sound exactly like Darth Vader, but he has this muffled voice, like they're making him into like a villain from a comic book.
Do you see anything? Do you see any witnesses? Where are they? Do you see anything? Do you see any witnesses? Where are they? Do you see anything? Do you see any witnesses? Where are they? Where are they? Check the basement. Check that door.
Now, again, when I play this from Star Wars, I'm not saying that he sounds like Darth Vader, but just keep in mind when it comes to subliminal programming isn't always specific. It's more like it's meant to cause an effect that doesn't have to be exact. So as what I just showed you is not going to sound exactly like Darth Vader. Just think about the similarities of how Darth Vader talks with a muffled voice and even how he's dressed. Right? So just notice the subliminal programming that I think is there with the Darth Vader voice.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Now, again, not that the voices are the same, but do you even see like the same setting? I mean, even look at the guy's that are surrounding them, right? So I'm going to play a comparison of the voices and just again notice the similarities of the muffled voice.
Be honored if you would join us. Be honored if you would join us. Be honored if you would join us.
Do you see anything? Do you see any witnesses? Where are they? Do you see anything? Do you see any witnesses? Where are they? Where are they? Check the basement. Shut that door.
So again, think about subliminal programming, right? So not only is this guy who's leading the SWAT team or whoever these after the witnesses, not only does he talk with a muffled voice, he's wearing all black like Darth Vader. He's got a black helmet on like Darth Vader. And look at the way they're surrounded, just like in a Star Wars movie. So when it comes to subliminal programming, again, if they want to make the witnesses feel like superheroes, well, you also need a villain, just like superheroes have villains, right? You need the bad guy. So they're using superhero music. They have them standing like superheroes about to reveal their powers. And then they got a guy all in black with a black helmet on with a muffled voice, right? And they're being surrounded. So when I made the last video and I said, "Oh, who's after Darth Vader?" Like, in my subconscious, like that's what it did for me. Like, I just heard this muffled voice and just thought like a villain. Like it made me think of like somebody like Darth Vader, and I made a sarcastic comment, "Who's after them, Darth Vader?" But that's how subliminal programming works. You see, they can put this guy with a muffled voice, put him in all black, put a black helmet on, have him standing like superheroes, play superhero music, make a scene that looks like a scene from Star Wars, right? You see, the only difference in the Star Wars scene is that the other guys are wearing white, and then the witness Vader, they're all wearing black. But so subconsciously, they could be feeling like superheroes. That's really what I think they're doing. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you follow what I'm saying with this, but the muffled voice and the JW is sounded exaggerated. There's no reason for like so that's what I think, right? I think it's they're taking Darth Vader and X-Men, Justice League, right? They're putting this mindset that they're superheroes, right? So yeah, go into a basement, don't worry, you're superheroes. You don't need a blood transfusion, you're superheroes. And even if you die, you automatically come back to or just bring you back to life like magic, right? It's superhero training. And again, it's not a coincidence that even the way they're standing, right? And this is what my subscriber picked up on. That's how people in those superhero movies look when they're about to go to battle or reveal their powers. Right? I mean, is that the look that you think of when you think about Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on their door, going door to door preaching? That's superhero. This is superhero training, which ultimately I think is Jim Jones training. These witnesses will be ready to go into a basement and think they're invincible, right? As Darth Vader is coming after them. So that was supposed to be the end of the video, right? And for those of you who might have been wondering like why I'm late posting this video, I know usually you'll notice I post them up on average like once a week. This is why sometimes I'm starting to post videos a little bit later on top of the fact that I moved and other stuff going on. But every time, and I said this in the last video, every time now that I get together to do a video, something always pops up that I'm not looking for. And this is why some of my videos are like almost 2 hours long sometimes, because I don't plan on that. I really don't want to do video over an hour, but it's because of stuff like this that comes up that I'm not looking for. These videos take me a lot longer to record and even put out. So once again, I noticed something just pervertically sick about this organization, and I felt I had to add this into this video, even though I didn't plan on it. So I'm going to explain what you're looking at right now, then I'm going to play it, and I'm going to play it a couple of times. Right as the Darth Vader, whoever's after them, right when the authorities are about to kick down the door, right, and they hear them coming in, this woman, right as they're worried that the door's going to get kicked down, she's sitting there and she looks like she's having an orgasm, right? I can't think of any other way to sugarcoat it than to just flat out say it. She looks like she's having an orgasm, and then it looks like she climaxes. Now, I don't know if you can see it clear on this picture. If it's not clear, then go to jw.org and watch it directly from there. But she's sweating. She's breathing hard. She looks like it's almost a mix between slightly pain but pleasure. And then she clearly, to me, climaxes. And this is not something I wanted to cover. It's not something I plan on covering, but I couldn't help to expose this when it jumped out at me when I wasn't looking for it. So now that I said that, and keep in mind, it's subliminal programming, right? So she doesn't have to have her pants down or anything like that, but she's having an orgasm, and then she climaxes. So when I play this, just ask yourself when you're watching this, is this an appropriate body language for somebody that thinks the police are about to kick down a door and murder them, right? Because I think that's what they think, that they're going to get killed, right? And they're waiting for Jehovah to step in and save them. So just notice the sweat on her face, the way she's breathing, and then when it looks like she's climaxing, right? And so let me just play this.
Should I dread when evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart? Yes, should I dread when evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart? Yes, should I dread when evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart? Yes.
Now, when I play this again, right as it looks like she's climaxing, right? I want to be careful how I word this, but you know what I mean, right? Right when she's getting to that point and she, Brother Brown says yes, right? So right as she's apparently climaxing, he says yes. Is it possible that by accident this happens, that by accident they're trying to portray that they're scared because the police are about to kick down the door and murder them, and just by accident, while they're trying to portray that, she looks like she's having an orgasm, and then right as she's climaxing, right as it looks like she's climaxing, he says yes? And let's just be honest, right? We know that yes is in the vocabulary that women sometimes say when they're getting to that point, right? Yes, that's so. I'm going to play this now again and look. Notice how right as it looks like she's climaxing, he says yes at that exact moment. And ask yourself: is that a coincidence? Is it even statistically possible that that's done by accident?
Should I dread when evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart? Yes, should I dread when evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart? Yes, should I dread when evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart? Yes, should I dread When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes.
So what's that all about? They think they're about to get killed, right? They think that whoever these people are, I don't want to say police, like I don't know, like these soldiers, right? Darth Vader from Star Wars, whoever it is that these people are portraying, is this the reaction, the body language of somebody that thinks that the door is about to get kicked down and they're all going to get murdered? Or does it look like she's having an orgasm?
Should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes, should I dread? When evil men attack me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my be courageous and strong of heart. Yes.
And right as it looks like she's climaxing, Brother Brown just happens to say yes. And I'm going to be blunt with this because my purpose of this channel really is to put on information to really help wake witnesses up and to also give other XJWs material to help wake witnesses up and their families. So I'm really trying to help, but sometimes if I say something blunt, it's not that I'm trying to be rude or inappropriate. It's like sometimes tough love is necessary, right? Sometimes when people are that brainwashed, sometimes they need a little nudge sometimes. So I'm not saying this to be rude or inappropriate, but I have to just be honest. If anybody comes on my channel, because sometimes Jehovah's Witnesses come on my channel and they'll come up with the most ridiculous things to say to try to try to just discredit what I'm saying. Right? Just some of the most ridiculous things. When the guy in the last video was sticking out his tongue at Brother Brown, somebody said, "Oh, he's reading his wife's movie script lines." It's like people will come up with anything they can say just to try to either stay brainwashed or some people may be hired by Watchtower to come on my channel and just try to steer people away from what I'm saying. I don't know if it's just stupidity or if it's just they're just trolls that are just they're working for Watchtower. I don't know. But if anybody comes on this channel, makes a comment, and tries to say that this is my imagination, if any man says that, that means that you've never sexually satisfied a woman. And I'm just being blunt because there's no way you can look at this and see the sweat on her face, the way she's breathing, even a part where it looks like there's a little bit of pain, but it's pleasure. And then right as this guy is saying, yes, she looks, you've never satisfied a woman. If you look at this and try to say that's not what's going on, because that's exactly what it looks like if you're a man and you're satisfying a woman. And yes is part of the vocabulary. If a woman Jehovah's Witness comes on this channel and tries to say the same thing, oh, this is my imagination, that means your husband's never satisfied you. And I have to be blunt, not that I'm trying to be rude, but enough is enough. right? Enough is enough. Like, you can't deny that's what it is. There's no way anybody can say this is the reaction that the police are going to come down and kick the door and murder you, right? That she's sweating, she's breathing heavy. Nobody can say, like, it's so obvious that that's what this is. So enough is enough. You can't, and it shouldn't surprise anybody because look, I mean, every basement video I've done, I mean, in the first video, you got this guy that bent all the way over as far as he can possibly bend over. Once this guy tells a story about suppressing his natural sexual desires, then in a second basement video during the resurrection scene, this same guy is in this weird position again. And when you look at that picture, it's made to look like there's somebody's hand pulling down his pants. I mean, that you tell me that's what Watchtower is showing you. Then you had this other guy that's sticking out his tongue at Brother Brown and whispering at him. And some people, again, they're saying, oh, he's reading his wife's movie lines. It's like, people will make up anything they can make up, then just accept the truth. And then by coincidence, it's his wife that now is basically having an orgasm while the police are about to kick down the door. So enough is enough, right? There's no more excuses. This organization, the Jehovah's Witness organization, is a sick, satanic, sexually perverted organization.